Hi, hello, namaskara, everybody. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Vince Rishi Show. This is the second one of the weekend, and this is definitely going to be a very, very interesting one. But before that, let's check on everybody who's actually joined here. How's your quarantine going? For me, it's a little bit boring. ನಿನ್ನೆ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ವರ್ಗ ಹಂಗೆ ರಪ್ ಅಂತ ಪಾಸ್ ಆದಂಗೆ ಆಯ್ತು. Why? Because Yediyurappa had announced that the bikes will be allowed, and ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ bikes now we had really prepped it up so that we could actually take it out at that. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೈಕ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ we could understand that the whole protocol has been rolled back. So bikes ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಮೇ 3 ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದೇ ವನವಾಸ. So a lot of bikers were extremely disappointed, but I think that's very much part of the ongoing crisis, and I'm sure the bikers will wait for some more time. But having said that, it's a beautiful day, so we are looking forward to another very, very interesting episode. So without further ado, let's quickly dive in and introduce our guest. Our next guest on the show is a fantastic entertainer, Marathi Mulgi by birth, but an absolutely brilliant Kannadiga by heart. She's a fabulous entertainer, and she's one of the most graceful, elegant, and a person with multiple talents, I must say. She's a fabulous, fabulous entertainer. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to quickly add her on. She's already sent me an invite here. So, I'm going to quickly add her on to the it's going to be an absolute cracker. That much I can promise you, because she is superb. Hey, Archie! Came back non-stop. I think that phrase gives you the best.
Thank you so much, for the fantastic agreement. And let's see, what? We introduced people, and first that you introduced me, and that was a fantastic production. Thank you so much.
We are MCs. We actually share the same kind of professional attributes, so that is bound to happen on this show. But this is going to be an absolute riot. So firstly, thank you for accepting the invite, and welcome to the Vince Rishi Show. So another beautiful day. Looking forward to a fabulous conversation with you.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for having me on your platform. I'm sure a lot of fans out there who want to know certain things, the traits of our business. So I'm more than happy to be a part of the show.
ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಮ್ದು ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೇಜಾನ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾನ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವಿಂಡಿ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ಲಿ ವಿಂಡಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸೌಂಡ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಖತ್ ಬೇಜಾರಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ.
ಈಗ ಬೆಟರ್?
Oh, superb it is. So, okay, Archie, you connect hearts during marriages. You engage thousands of corporates. You can sing, you can dance. You were an IT professional, and then you made a huge jump. There's so much to MC Archie. So tell us more about it.
Yes, well, I have an administration degree in HRM. I joined a company, a very well-known company, as an HR to start with. But then I knew that this was not me. I wanted to be something more. And I, of course, was not the kind of person who could be confided in a cabinet. Of course, respect to people who do that day in, day out. I knew, from within, that it was not me. It was not my calling. And I was waiting for the right opportunity, because in India, parents ashtondu liberal agi opportunity kodala. Yen bekar madko parvagilla. It becomes really important for you to be a breadwinner. So I was a breadwinner for my family. So nanu important idu andukenta. But I knew that this was not me. I knew that there's something more to me, and I wanted to keep exploring. And I have a friend called Aditya, and he actually kind of called me one day, and he's like, "Why don't you be an MC?" Now, first reaction of mine, MC na hangandre, because I didn't know that there was a profession called MCing that existed at all. So I was like, what is it? What do I have to do? And then he said, nothing at all. You'll get a script, and there's this big conference that is happening at BIEC, Bangalore. And all you have to do is just go there. Then they're going to give you a handout, a script as such. Go there, just be presentable and speak, and introduce and read out the script and come back. I said, yeah, sounds okay, sounds doable. And I asked him, do I get paid for it? He said, of course. And then like, how much? He said, see, since it's your first gig, and I have my friends doing their bit, so I think they'll probably pay you about 5,000. I said, wow, 5,000 for a day? I'm excited, and all I have to do is just read out from a script. Then I went there and I was a little nervous, to be very honest. But I've done a lot of stage events and things like that back in college and school days. So I knew that I could manage, like something like that. I went there, you will not believe. ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಒಂದ್ 3,000 ಜನ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, and all of them are suited up and all these serious kismke, people. And I'm like, oh my god, what have I done? I haven't done any preparation of sorts, and I wasn't even expecting so many people to be there. So I still took a breath and I said, okay, fine, you know what, it's 5,000, and of course it's an interesting job, something completely different from what I do on a regular basis. So let's give it a try. And I did what I had to do, and after that show, you won't believe, I had 16 people. I still have like a note of all these people. They came up to me and asked me, you're a fantastic MC, can we have your contact? Do you have a profile? And I was like, okay, all right. New bells ringing, and that's how it all started.
Oh, the very first gig, and then you had quite a few people following you.
Surprisingly, yeah.
So you must have done one hell of a job, because a master of ceremonies as a job is something that will really help you discover something about yourself that you probably wouldn't have even known in normal circumstances.
Absolutely. And as a fellow MC, I'm sure you'll connect to what I'm saying. When I'm on stage, okay, irrespective of my physical wellness, irrespective of how hard the day's been, the moment I'm on stage, I know for a fact that I'm alive. I feel that liveliness within me, and I know that I can, you know what, this is going to be a kick-ass show.
Kill it, yeah.
I'm sure you feel the same, that stage, mic, I think, I don't know, boost ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ energy to a different level altogether. Right?
Correct. Fantastic. We'll get to the MC journey of Archana Deshmukh avare, but before that, let's try and get some background about you, where you from, and your family and everything else.
So my mom's been a single mother, and we originally from Mumbai, but my family moved to Bangalore. For the longest time, I remember, did a schooling here in Bangalore, and I went, I did a course abroad. I'm a hardcore travel enthusiast. I wanted to learn about traveling, so I went abroad. I did my travel journalism. And then I came back to India, and I was hoping that travel journalism, will just give me that one edge. I could do this as a job, but I was taken aback with the fact that travel journalism back then was not a big thing in India yet, and I had to kind of, succumb to the necessities of the hour, and I picked up a job in an IT company. Did a couple of them, in fact. Very, very, very jumpy I was, because I was not finding that calling like I told you earlier. So my family was very supportive. My mom especially, she was extremely supportive. And she said, it's okay, go ahead and, kind of keep trying out things unless and until you feel that that's your place. Because one thing, my mom's been a teacher. And the one thing that she's always told me is, unless and until you have your heart in a place, you will not be able to do it, happily. And if you don't do anything happily, I don't think you succeed in anything at all. So I took that to my mind strongly, and I kept telling that to myself, okay, this is not the place, but it's okay, I'll find my destiny. And I kept doing a lot of things. I was like, okay, where am I leading? I mean, where is this going? And people are like, why are you fluctuating? Why are you changing jobs so often and things like that? And I knew that, if I don't take risks, I'll not be able to attain what I really want. And trust me, my family has been extremely supportive. I don't think families, really give, not all families give their children a good to go, okay, fine, go explore. Right. But my mom, I think she is my iron lady, and she's been super supportive and still is. And yeah, that's how it all started. And I think it's going, fingers crossed.
Now, what does your family say after all that you've done? You're one of those very few MCs, especially the women MCs, who's part of an elite gang, which is like the trendsetters in the country. I mean, you guys are taking MCing to a different level altogether. So how's your mom's reaction now, firstly?
Let me take a moment to kind of digest what you said. So, okay, but yeah,
I'm in the MCing industry, right? So I kind of follow the industry trends, and I'm aware of who's doing what and what kind of shows and how's the reception to certain shows. So on that basis, my research is very strong. I have a research team.
Right. I think three things kind of constitute the status that I've achieved today. One, of course, is the family support. One, of course, is God's grace, and the third one being hard work. You have to really work hard to get where you are, and with family support and God's blessings, I think you can just reach any heights and anyone just can achieve anything. My mom is extremely proud. In fact, at times she kind of goes around the apartment and she keeps telling her neighbors that what, my daughter's doing this, my daughter's wearing this costume, and she probably shows my pictures also. Sometimes I'm like, what are you doing, mom? Probably they don't even know what I do. I put on makeup, I dress so fancy and get out of the house, and they'll be wondering, where the hell is she going? So my mom is like extremely proud, and she kind of, I think, blows my trumpet around.
Nice to know that you now got the backing of your family. Now let's come to some of the attributes of an MC. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the followers and people who would probably watch this video later on would love to know how to become an MC and what are those skills you will need to acquire or probably have by birth in order to become a successful MC. So those are the things that we'll actually talk about. Firstly, women in MCing as an industry. So let's talk about that. How's your experience been?
Well, I have to be honest that I've been very well received. I've been an MC for 4 years now, and the reception I've got from the industry is extremely, extremely heartwarming. I don't think I really had like a struggle. I didn't have that much of a struggle. So after my first show took off, I had a lot of numbers and I had a lot of people calling me for these mall gigs, and that's how an MC starts, basically. And the moment I accepted these offers to be a part of mall gigs and everything, I saw it. I could enjoy it so much. I mean, even to date, I think mall gigs are more challenging than that of a stage gig. So if you know what you're doing, the audience are going to be seated while you do your stuff. But mall is not, like that. You have a floating crowd, you have to entertain them, you have to tell about your product. In the meantime, you have to be really active. And it was kind of tedious in the beginning, but I was completely enjoying doing mall gigs. I did about 4 mall gigs, and by then I had like a broken profile. I'm not a techie at all, so I got a friend of mine to work on a profile of mine, which was really, if I look back into my profile, I wonder how I got all the opportunities that I did. But
it's a good word of mouth.
Yeah, I guess, thankfully. But my profile was okay, and then I put a profile together and I started circulating to people, whoever came up to me and asked me for my contact. And after a couple of days, so there was a bit of a lull for a while, and I was like, okay, maybe this is not my cup of tea. I did a bit of birthday parties and all that. So I enjoyed whatever I did, be it a mall gig, be it a carnival, be it birthdays. I just enjoyed myself doing whatever I did. And I really don't know, if I think about it, one main event happened, one stage event happened, and that particular event manager went back to a couple of other MCs and said, hey, you know what, she is a crackerjack, and she is going to definitely, make that, she has a sparkle to kind of brighten people up, and she's very big. And the other MC who actually kind of was supportive, she called me and she said, this is what I heard from the event manager. And I was like, wow, I mean, this is really, giving me hopes. And I definitely have to thank MC Sarita Raghuvanshi, because I called her, I know that I called her. And then I actually, after 1 or 2 gigs of mine, I was very confident. I quit my job, overconfident that I was back then. So people, if you're looking out to be an MC and if you already have a job, hold on to it for a while. Make sure that you kind of make a stand, make a mark for a while, and then, of course, you can go ahead and take all these big decisions. Yeah, so I quit my job very confidently, thinking that, you know what, I've got 2 shows, it's going to just keep snowballing. And
you're in HR then, right?
But it wasn't so. And now, after tasting the stage and the mic and the entire audience, open audience, the impromptu, the rush, everything, I was not ready to go back to my regular job. And then I remember calling Sarita Raghuvanshi through, of course, a couple of contacts. I got in touch with her, and she was extremely sweet. She's still, I owe my success, and or rather, whoever helped me. If somebody asked me who helped you become what you are today, I have to mention 2 names for sure. One is Aditya, who was my friend who introduced me to the world of MC, and the second being Sarita. She definitely, because she called a lot of event managers. She was a big name back then. I mean, she is, of course, she is now. She's a celebrity MC now, but she was an MC, very popular MC back then, and she made it a point to call a lot of event managers and pass my number to them, which is a big thing.
Yeah, it is.
There is a stigma that women MCs are not friends, or women they always have cat fights, but not really. Sarita was very sweet, and she made me understand the norms of the industry, the terms and conditions as to how we have to work, and she passed my number to a lot of people. And it took time. It took a while, but then I think about 3 to 4 months after my first gig, I had a lot of inquiries coming in for team building, for birthday parties, for these small time, events, which I happily picked up, and yeah, it's fantastic. The journey has been fantastic. So I think what you really need to do is, if you have a job already, which I'm reiterating now, to hold on to a job for a while, try your hands on being an MC, and if it works for you, fantastic, then go ahead and take a step of quitting your job. Because I think I kind of was in a hurry, and I tasted all that success and that the lights and the glory.
Yeah.
And it was a little hasty, but thankfully it worked for me. But let's just hold on to our jobs for a while more to see how it goes.
Okay, so you mean to say that there is definitely a risk factor involved, especially if you're considering MCing as a career.
Absolutely. Especially
that's pretty much the case with.
Fortunately or unfortunately, we have to acknowledge the fact that this industry has limited options for women, at least after a particular age. It's easy, we read in quotations that age is just a number. If you're talented, you can go a long way. But unfortunately, it is not the same for many, many people, many ladies. And I think, of course, times are changing. I think Divya Vitlani, who happens to be one of my favorite MCs from Bangalore, I think she is kind of, setting examples for people. She's been in the industry for almost 10, 12 years, if I'm not wrong, and she's still, turning heads around, and she's doing a fabulous job. And she is, of course, an inspiration for me when it comes to Bangalore MC. So, of course, things are changing, but again, not in a big spectrum. So, that's there. And otherwise, I think a lot of ladies, a lot of youngsters are also coming up. So you have to keep evolving. You have to keep coming up with new things every time that you go on stage to make your mark. Of course, it's competition. You're competing with yourself whilst you're competing with the younger lot of people who are coming in. When I say younger lot, I mean the fresher batch of people who are coming in. Because I stopped telling ages just to remember. But the fresher lot of people who are coming in. There's opportunity there. This industry has so much to provide. And on a healthy level of competition, I think everybody can be happy and enjoy.
Yeah, events are pretty much like a conveyor belt system. They keep constantly coming. If you're up to it, you will definitely grab it well.
Absolutely.
Okay, so one aspect of you which I have strongly admired is you're multilingual. You're pretty well versed with a lot of languages, but one thing has been mighty impressive for me is the fact that you celebrate Karnataka Rajyotsava like it is Deepavali and Ugadi. It's a big thing for you. So tell us the Kannadiga in you. Tell us more about that.
Absolutely. Just to kind of touch upon the multilingual aspect, yes, that has been the biggest USP for my success as an MC. When I still remember. There's another lady called Archana, a fantastic lady. She owns a company called Uzur. So she met up with me, and I was supposed to do an event for them. And she's like, do you speak all these languages, or you just had those one-liners and, make a video and send it across to people? I said, well, I'm not really sure how to react to that, but you can speak to me in those languages, and I'm sure I'll be able to give you a convincing answer. So then of course, the word of mouth spread, and I made this one video. In fact, let me be very honest, that video was actually shot in a washroom. I was there to touch up before a show, and this one person called me, you can actually speak in all these languages, can you just quickly send a video? I said, I don't have the time. He's like, no, it's okay, however you are, wherever you are, just shoot the video and send it across. So it was about less than a minute, around a minute ka video, which I sent to this client of mine, and they were mighty impressed. And I just casually put that video up on Facebook, and overnight I think I hit 4,000 likes. Wow. And I was like, wow, okay. So what is... Till then I had actually no idea that my language skills were a big thing. Unless and until people started noticing it, and unless and until people started appreciating me for it. Then I thought I'll use that as my weapon, and when I started taking up events, when I go up on stage, when I welcome people in all these languages, they have this big bright smile on their faces, like, hey, namudi karo, hey, namaponapa. So that's how I kind of felt on stage, looking at people's reactions. And of course, coming back to my Kannada love, I strongly feel that, of course, I'm not from here, I'm not a Kannadiga, but it doesn't stop me from liking Kannada, because this land has given me so much. It has given me a life where I can give comfort and, in fact, a tad bit of luxury to my family, and I cannot be any less thankful. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು, ತುಂಬಾ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು MC ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಒಂದು ಭೂಮಿ ನನಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟದಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೀತಿ, ನನಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಷ್ಟು ಅವಕಾಶಗಳು. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ eternally thankful and grateful to the people of Karnataka for accepting me and for giving me all these opportunities. ಖಂಡಿತ ಕನ್ನಡ ರಾಜ್ಯೋತ್ಸವನ ಅದ್ಧೂರಿಯಾಗಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ದೀಪಾವಳಿನ ಯುಗಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬನ ಆಚರಿಸಿವೋ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋರು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋರು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ದುಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡೋರು, ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಕೆಲಸ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಿಂದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇಂದ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸಂಬಳ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕನ್ನಡ ರಾಜ್ಯೋತ್ಸವನ ಖಂಡಿತ ಆಚರಿಸಲೇಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನ್ನ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಥಾಟ್.
That is very, very kind of you to say that, and also the fact that that you are somebody who's very open to a diverse set of audience. I mean, time and again, you tend to adapt to the kind of audience you're delivering to. That holds a strong key in the success what you've achieved so far. So now, Karnataka to have somebody like you who respects the land of opportunity, the land that actually feeds you, we are extremely proud to have you. You're very much a Kannadiga, very much part of us, as much as all of us are.
When you walk up to somebody who's been here in Karnataka or Bangalore for about 8 years, 6 years, 5 years, and they still come up to you say Kannada gottilla, it's just so annoying. I mean, dude, you're here for such a long time. You've been making a living out of this state, and ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕನ್ನಡ ಕಲಿಯೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಷ್ಟನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. I mean, ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಕಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಲೀರಿ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಕನ್ನಡನೇ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯ ಕನ್ನಡದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಹೇಳಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಯಾರು ಕನ್ನಡನೇ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಕನ್ನಡನೂ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದ್ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ವಿಷಯನ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನನ್ಗೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ.
I know you're using a lot of mediums in order to promote our language and also our culture, but we will get to that. But before that, let's try and look at how an MC's routine would be. So what are your prep routines before an event? Or what are those things that you actually follow before an event?
So, I completely work on impromptu content. So somebody gives me a script beforehand, I get extremely nervous. In fact, I still remember the initial days of mine when I had a script in hand and I had to just welcome somebody. I still remember I made a very, very big, there was a big goof up from my end and I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, that was my third or fourth event, and it was a big event, okay? So this event manager was like, no, it's okay, it's not as big. But I started weeping backstage and I'm like, what am I doing? This is not my cup of tea. Because I had a big script in hand and I had to kind of rehearse and just say what what was given there. And I'm completely not that kind of a person. In fact, exam baribekadru nan logic artha madkondo I would write my own answers and I used to get good marks, of course, for it. So I've always been impromptu in life and things that I do. So suddenly when the script kotaga I get nervous even now. Honestly speaking, all these big conferences, I prepare myself mentally and I just kind of go through that. And of course I'm more trained and habituated to those now, but back in the day I wasn't.
Correct.
So if most of the times I enjoy doing corporate family days or corporate events or an R&R. So I'm mostly impromptu. The prep that I usually take is I understand the requirement of the company. I understand the audience that I'm going to be catering to. Once I understand that, once I understand the number of people, the age group and where they come from, I go on stage. I still keep that in mind. I don't kind of place my judgment or my plan of the event based on what I get as communication from the client. What I do is I go up on stage, I look at the audience, I gauge their energy, and then I take a call. That is one thing, and of course, what is a fancy part to it is I get to dress up. I get to do my hair. And, let's face it, I'm a girl and I enjoy all of that. And
you have a team that helps you with that.
Going up there and looking... Sorry?
You have a team that helps you with you being prepped up for the events, right?
Absolutely, looking presentable in an audience, in front of an audience of that, that big number. I think it just gives you a lot of rush in a positive way. So yeah, mostly I'm impromptu, but certain times what happens is the clients are very particular as to what they want, and that is when I get on a very detailed conference call with the clients. I make a note of what they want out of me. I make a note of the kind of audience that they want me to cater to, and also make a few pointers about the company, the history of the company. So I'll do my bit of research. Yeah, so that's the prep mostly for entertaining events. For conferences, of course, it's straight and simple. The client, the agencies send out their scripts, and I rehearse and I make sure that I get the pronunciations right, especially the names, especially the expats who are coming.
Correct.
Yeah, so that I never want to go wrong with. So that is something that happens in terms of serious events like conferences and all that. But otherwise, yeah, I just go there and I know that this is my first event, or how many other events I've done so far. I just go on stage and I tell myself, this is my first event and I'm gonna be kick ass. I'm gonna just rock it, I'm gonna have fun and make sure that everybody else has fun. And that's my prep every time.
But Guri actually mentioned about being spontaneous, because no matter how lucrative a career in emceeing profession looks, but if you're somebody who freezes on stage, then you're in for some real bad ride, because people can get very nasty with you.
Absolutely. I was just mentioning the names part, right? So this event I was talking to you about, where I went extremely wrong. Like I took, I actually kind of called out the event's name wrong. Okay, so that it was my fourth event. I still remember. I'm saying this because people out there should not think that MCs are perfect all the time. We are human beings, and to err is to human, right? We are entitled to make a few mistakes there. That doesn't stop our career. However, it takes a big hit. Of course, I mean, we will definitely a lot of criticism after that, but you have to just own up to your mistake and then walk up to people and say, you know what, I'm sorry. So what happened is, when this particular mess up happened, the goof up happened, I think I just kind of went backstage. I quit. But after some time, I think I came back and I told myself that it's okay. Whatever's happened has happened. I still have an opportunity to kind of do the rest of my job well. So let me just give it my all. So I went up on stage and I actually said, I'm so sorry, I had a Steve Harvey moment. And people started laughing, because back then, that was the initial days where Steve Harvey had this a big stage and a big platform, but still, group ups happen. So I went on stage and with a smile on my face, like, oopsie, I think I had my Steve Harvey moment. And I started, observing people. They were laughing, they were smiling, and I was like, okay, now let me just take control of the entire thing. And that happens. So we have to be extremely careful, because we do a lot of events, but those companies who are witnessing us as MCs, it's their important day. It's important to them in a way. Very true. So definitely we'll do all that is necessary to make sure that there are no errors. But again, we're humans. Yeah. At times it's bound to happen. We just have to take ownership of it and pull ourselves together and go ahead and rock it.
Being mindful is so important. Being part of an MC. Let's talk about your tryst with few of the celebrities whom you actually work with. I mean, now there are two sides to that chapter for an MC. I'm 100% sure about that bit. You've worked with quite a few celebrities, right? So tell us about that chapter. Tell us both the pros and cons of meeting celebrities.
Okay. So, firstly, when I started off, I think even after completing 1 year as an MC, I got an opportunity to work at the TV, work for a Kannada channel, and I was like, I don't know, I probably was not comfortable in that arena, and I said no, I'm not interested, and I kind of kept saying no, because even those opportunities were actually bringing me closer to interviewing celebrities here in Karnataka, and I didn't want to be a TV person back then. I was enjoying what I was doing on stage, and I still wanted to know, the traits of the business, before I actually get into TV. But last year it so happened that there is this online platform called Daily Hunt, and they were looking for an anchor to interview celebrities, and a friend of mine was very insistent that I give it a try, and I said, yeah, okay, let me see, why not? And that way I got an opportunity to interview a lot of celebrities. So basically how it was is the new movies, new releases, and Daily Hunt was the platform that was actually trying to promote and take interviews of these celebrities to get to know a lot about this.
You can drop a few names of the celebrities, so that's okay.
Yeah, I was getting to that. But yeah, so that was the main job. And I said, yeah, I think it's doable. So I went to Mumbai. Most of it happened in Mumbai. So I went to Mumbai, and the first ever celebrity interview that I had to take was for the promotion of the movie called Houseful 4. And it had like the who's who of the big stars of Bollywood. I was very, very, very enthralled. I was ecstatic, and I was like really excited. And what was another twist to it was the fact that this interview was happening on a train. So a running train from Mumbai to Delhi. And all these stars are there, and of course the entire media is there to interview the stars of this film Houseful 4. I've had the most memorable experiences being on that train. So I got an opportunity to interview Akshay Kumar, Ritesh Deshmukh, Bobby Deol, Pooja Hegde, Kriti Sanon, and Kriti Kadbanda, all of them together. They were there giving answers to my questions. They were very, very, very sweet, and they were very fun-loving. And we had a fantastic interview. And since we had like a long journey, after the interview, Akshay Kumar invited all the media personals to come play Housey and Antakshari.
Oh,
so that's fantastic. Oh, he's such a fantastic superstar, I must say. Very, very humble, very considerate of people's feelings, and he had no starry tantrums at all, and that took me by surprise. People actually can be like very, very dogmatic and successful at the same time, is what I actually learned from Akshay Kumar. So that was my first stint, and after that I've interviewed my biggest superstar, Salman Khan. And I interviewed Deepika Padukone for this movie called Chapak. I've interviewed Sonakshi for the Bang 3. I've interviewed Kangana Ranaut for the movie called Panga. And yeah, it was fantastic. So all these stars, all these interviews, but truly learning lessons. Of course, there are cons to them as well. So the cons. What happens in our regular job as an MC is you dress up, you know the audience are waiting, you go there, you do your show. At times you might have to wait for about an hour or two because if the agencies call you much before time, they make you wait for a while just to give you that, the hang of the entire event, and of course you have to be before time, considering Bangalore traffic and all that. But you already have that mindset, okay, fine, you know what, they've called you by 4 o'clock, but you're sure the event is going to start nothing before 6:30, and you're okay, you're well prepared. It is not the case, it's not the same in the case of these film stars. So they tell you, let's say Saturday 3 o'clock, you wait from 3 o'clock, okay, you go there by around 1 o'clock, you want to be ready and all that, you don't want to, kind of be the last one to reach there. But you realize that there are people.
Oh, we kind of lost internet connection. I think that's pretty much the trend this weekend, I believe. We're losing our guests thanks to technical difficulties, but we are almost getting her back on. But if you have any difficulties, we'll pick up the questions what's available on the chat. Hey, I kind of lost you.
I lost you.
I don't have, let me tell you, I don't have a sponsor, so I can't put in an ad whenever you go. So, yeah. Go on. Oh, you will have to croon a little while later, so I have a little bit of thing for you on that. But yeah, you can go on about the celebrity part.
Yeah. So when I reached there by 1 o'clock for an interview that is stated to happen at 3 o'clock, I see that the other media persons are there waiting from 10 o'clock and having their breakfast and refreshments. I'm like, what? Okay, so 3 o'clock the celebrity doesn't turn, 4 o'clock the celebrity doesn't turn up. It so happens the celebrities turn up, or rather they come after their makeup and everything only by around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the night. So the wait time is a little killing. And but then I think you just have to kind of oversee it because they have a busy schedule. I mean, they have to have a lot of things in check before they come in front of the camera. So I think we have to give them the benefit of the doubt.
But is it a boon or a bane? Because a lot of people feel that you're lucky to actually be meeting these celebrities, which ideally is not the case. You have to work your butt off in order to reach the place.
Absolutely. I get extremely annoyed when people say, oh my God, you're so lucky you're an MC. You're so lucky all you have to do is just dress up and go on stage and talk. You're so lucky that you get to meet film stars. Excuse me? It's not like I just wake up in the morning and put on makeup and then go there. No, you have to do your hard work. You have to really work hard. Work hard. Smart work and hard work together, kind of gives you the success that you truly deserve. And you can't just be, and of course, talent. Let's not forget that. Talent, hard work, and coming up with new things time and again, evolving, reworking on your skills time and again. I think all of these factors matter. But the closest friends of mine also come up to me and say, "Oh my God, you're so lucky." And I'm like, I just smiled them off. Absolutely, I don't have to do anything. Not even, I don't even have to wake up in the morning. Just like I fly to my shows. But yeah, that's very annoying. And it is not luck, guys. Whoever watching us live, I'm sure Vinny also will agree to what I'm saying. It's definitely not luck. Of course, it does play a role, a small role at that. But you have to really work hard. You have to work on your skills, your talent, your presentation, the way you a lot of things to be.
Right.
An MC and a successful of that goes. It's definitely not all luck.
Correct. And you are one amazing soul. I mean, I've known you personally, so I can say that with a lot of, strength about the fact that, you also undertake a lot of philanthropical activities as well. I mean, you very much believe in giving as much as taking as well. So talk us about your philanthropical activities.
I believe in being good and doing good. So if God has blessed me, I think I recently read a quote and I even put that as my WhatsApp status. Wherein if God blesses you with financial richness, I don't show it off by increasing your living status. I think show it by giving it to people. So when you receive is when you give, right? And when you give, I think it gives you immense happiness. And I don't know, I've always been like this. I've always, from a very young age, I've been a person who supports people, the underprivileged, or people who are definitely not able to enjoy the glory at times that we do. And I'm very proud and glad to say that I've been this person, even when I was not earning as much as I do today, touch wood, grace of God. And that is something that we should inculcate in kids of today as well. It's very important for kids to learn, to know and learn the importance of giving. I know, we had these very popular phrases in school, say sharing is caring, and somehow weirdly I never used to share my ice cream with people, but I'm more than happy to share whatever little things that I have. If I can give at least 1% of what I have to people who are in need, and if I just get them to smile, I think it just makes my day, brightens my entire world, I feel. And as a part of the lockdown also, when I came to realize that a lot of people are starving or are running short of food, I do my bit from my own home, and thanks to my mom, who's been extremely supportive of this small initiative of mine. And she cooks, and of course I help her do that. But yeah, she cooks, and we feed about 18 families.
Wow.
In area that's close to where I live, and it's shocking to know that they all are daily wages. They all depend on their daily wages, and they do not have enough to kind of feed themselves in one time. And I really want, deep down, I really want to do a lot more than I'm doing right now. But I know for a fact that I can't push my limits too much. But yes, it gives me immense happiness that one of the highlights of the lockdown, Vinu, is the fact that I'm a part of this initiative called Each One Feed One. And there's a company called Ozone that started it, and I've kind of taken it up, and whatever is in my capacity. In fact, thank you, so many people out there have extended to help financially, and I told them that I'm able to take care of this myself for now, but I've kind of directed them to people who really need, and organizations that are doing much bigger things than I am. But I've taken up the responsibility to feed these 18 families that live close to my place, in a slum. At least till the lockdown, at least till the me, and after it's called solution. Let's see.
Well, I think Corona times has actually brought out some real angels. The true angels are actually coming out to the fore. You are somebody who keeps it under wraps. I mean, you're not somebody who will really show it out in the open, feeding these families and everything. This was something that I really had to dig out using my research team.
Yeah, because I did get criticism also. So every day on my WhatsApp and my Instagram, I put a picture with whatever's been cooked for the day, as whatever the menu is, and I post a picture. The intention was not to kind of blow a trumpet saying that, hey guys, listen, I'm trying to help people, I'm like a goody two shoes. No, that was definitely not the intention. The intention is to at least inspire another person, one single individual out there who is watching my story, who is aware of the fact that I'm trying to help these people. If he or she takes an initiative to feed another person, another fellow being, that's all that has to that has to come out of the stories and the pictures that I post. And I don't believe in posting pictures, taking selfies with people who are actually needy and all that. That's not what I do. I do send out these pictures only with the hope that I touch another life, where that person is also inspired by the act and does his or her bit. And honestly, it has happened. A lot of friends of mine who contacted me, they've asked me how to go about doing this, and I think I kind of helped them understand how the entire procedure works, because there are cops who don't really allow people to be going out and unless and until they know what is the intention behind going out. So, So yeah, so I'm very proud to say in the last 19 days, that is when April 1st is when I started the initiative, started being a part of the initiative, each one feed one. I think 19 days and counting, and people have given so much love. In fact, when we go there to give these. Distribute these food packets. I think they have this broad smell. They ask me, what is today? Akka, ಏನು ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದ್ರಿ ಇವತ್ತು? ನಾಳೆ ನಾನು ಇದು ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತೀರಾ please? And they love the curd rice. I mean, it's the simplest of the recipe, but they love the curd rice in my house, and they keep asking for it at least twice a week. So it's so nice to get them to smile, and they make me really happy, and that I cannot put a price on that.
Well, it's an incredible gesture. More power to you and your family who's actually backing those, family during the time of crisis. I hope this inspires a lot many more people to actually come forward and help the needy as well. Now, let's get to the fun part, Aarti. I mean, you still hang out at the Sadashiv Nagar Coffee Day bit.
Not really. It's been so long. I think the last time I was there was with you, or maybe another time with Namrata and a couple of our friends. But yeah, I've never got an opportunity to hang out there in Sadashiv Nagar, which I still remember. We had a great time when we hung out with a couple of our friends, and it was a good time.
Okay, you have now ventured into a little bit of online content, YouTube, web series, and of course TikTok. You're quite strong on TikTok as well. So tell us about those ventures. You walked into those territories as well now.
TikTok. I think I started TikTok as a stress buster, and I just completely enjoyed, mimicking the videos and voicing the videos and all that. It was fun. And one fine day, I just decided to get my mom into it, and I did a video with my mom, and it went viral. Like how? It was on television, it was on news channels and everywhere. And then all of a sudden I said, okay, fine, not bad at all. And more than I was enjoying the stardom that I received from TikTok, I think my mom was like, the moment I wake up in the morning, like, are we doing TikTok today? Are we doing TikTok today? So I just continued. She was enjoying it, and we would do a lot of concepts, and people would be so welcoming. I still have a lot of friends who call me and say, they say, your mom's so cute, and you should have more TikToks coming, from with her in the video and all that. I said, yeah, not bad at all. So my mom really enjoyed the stuff. No shying away from that. Yeah, and then yes, of course, YouTube content. Honestly, I haven't been very active, but I did want to kind of try my hands on these web series and the wine content, and I tried my hands on it. I did a couple of episodes, and the biggest hit was the Rajotsava episode. I received a lot of love and hate. Let me be very precise, because a lot of people came and told me that you're not even a Kannadiga. Why do you have to kind of show off? I said, I'm not trying to show off. I'm just extremely grateful to the land that I live in, and this is how I can actually show. This is one of my ways to show that I'm happy being here, and so that was I think that was the last episode, and after that there's been nothing. But a lot of people have been asking, when is the Affable Archie 2.0 coming, and what are your thoughts, and when are we getting to see all of that? So I'm very happy that people have received it well, and not of course in large number, because I did not do. Let me be very honest. I had too many things to take care of. Like, work was really busy, and I could not give my 100% attention to the YouTube content. So I kind of said, okay, fine, let me not do something that I can't give my 100% efforts to. So that kind of took a backseat, but I received great amount of support and great love from whoever watched the content. So thank you guys for watching. Happy Balashan.
I'm sure they will actually follow right after this one. Your Instagram account, you're not too strong on the numbers in terms of followers and everything, and you're not somebody who regularly posts in order to keep the Instagram platform going very strongly, right? I mean, any reasons for that?
You caught me on that. A lot of people have actually told me that's like the biggest flaw that they found in me, that you don't know how to promote yourself on social media. And of course, social media is everything today, and it speaks volumes about your work, about your personality, and that is how you get a lot more people to know who you are. Unfortunately, I have not been a social media person. Call me old school, but I've always enjoyed, being in contact with people whom I know. I've had bad experiences also when for a while I had my account open, and I'm not very comfortable kind of giving the access of my life, because I need some space also, right? I am an MC and all that, of course, absolutely understandable. But when it comes to having people in my space, I think I'm a little choosy, or a little picky, and definitely it's not a place for everybody. I'm very picky that way, so I don't have like an open and forum where people can just join and find out what's happening in my life. I have a very close circuit for people to appreciate my work or even be a part of my life, my personal life.
For all that you do,
work on that. I think I have to work on that. I remember when we decided on this interview, you did ask me, give me a website to do better. I said, you know me as a person, you know me better than there's so many people out there who are part of the industry, so I don't have a website. So yes, that's a confession. I don't have a website, but I think I will work on it, because a lot of people have been asking, and I think I also have to array into different industries, especially out of Bangalore. And if that is the case, then I need a proper and a strong background, and so I'll work on it, of course. But as of now, I think I'm social media shy. You can call it that.
Okay, hopefully your numbers will double up right after this one. But there's another aspect of you as a personality which I would love to stress on. I mean, you've been a tremendous fighter. You fought life like no other I've known personally. I mean, you're one of those very strong personalities. But you've had a very fair share of criticism, a lot of flack that has come for just the kind of talent you portray on social media. Not just that, events Madadralagli, you've been the subject of trolling as well by a few troll groups. That's been a very bitter chapter, isn't it?
Yeah, to talk about the difficulties, of course, my life hasn't been a bed of roses, to be very honest. I've had a very tough childhood, and going along, I knew that back in the day I had a lot of mental pressure to kind of impress people. So this was this is something for the first time I'm actually kind of disclosing. So growing up, I had this extreme pressure within myself to impress people, especially my mom and my family members. And I thought maybe if I do that, they'd like me better, and a lot of things, which is of course something that I do not recommend for people out there, and especially if they have kids. I think just let them be, let them enjoy their freedom, let them discipline them in the most subtle possible way, and they'll learn their things. But back in the day, old school parenting was not that easy, and I had this constant requirement from within that I have to impress my family, I have to impress my mom, I have to stand out. Plus my mom was a teacher, so I had a lot more things. So when I even joined the industry, I shouldn't take their names, but a lot of popular MCs, 3 popular MCs and men, very popular, they actually said, Yachi ella ಏನು stick on ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಥವ್ರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, 4 ಜನ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, 5 ಜನ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, so ಏನು chance ಇಲ್ಲ. And I did not actually realize that person was trying to put me down. Back then I thought, maybe true, maybe this is not the place for me because I'm not a localite. I probably, my language back then was not as strong either. And so I was probably telling myself that maybe the person's right, maybe there's not a future for me here. But eventually when I started picking up events, when people started appreciating me for my work and for my innovative content and my energy, I think, maybe I have a chance here. Maybe I can actually prove myself here. So I had a lot of people criticize I was a lot more healthier. I mean, I think it's a fancy word, but I was fat. I was fat. And I started off. And thankfully, no one's actually asked me to wear skimpy clothes to be on stage, because that is also a part of being an MC or an MC manager. They ask you to wear something, like a little revealing and all. And I've always been the person to say, you know what, if you want content, if you want presentable content, that is when you contact me. If you want sleazy clothing, then please knock someone else's door.
Right.
So I'm very clear about it. But I was healthy, and thanks to my content and the energy levels that I actually brought to the stage, none of them asked me to lose weight or anything. I mean, I've never had those kind of body shaming criticism. But eventually I took it as took it upon me to kind of work on myself, work on my skills, work on my presentability. Again, looks are very surface level, but again, presentability is what I would put it as. And Yeah, but initially, yes, of course, I was a part of a lot of trolling. Even TikTok, I think when TikTok has not spared any trolling, these scroll pages would pick up my video and say, ಏನಮ್ಮಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದ್ ಸತಿ ಟಿಕ್ಟಾಕ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನನ್ನ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಕೂಡ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದ್ ಜನ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇವಳೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾಳೆ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. But I've always taken that those criticism to be constructive, and I've worked on myself is what I strongly say. I think I'm very happy even now after an event, no matter how successful the event is, I walk up to the event manager and ask, how was I? Was I good? Did I live up to the expectations of you guys? Because they put a lot of effort to you to understand to actually kind of sell us to this client, right? And just more than the client, I think they have to live up to the expectations of the agency.
Correct.
Yeah. So
nice. I mean, these aspects of yours hopefully will inspire a few people to pick up the mic and become an MC eventually. On this show, I would like to make a request, MC Archie. So, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದೆರಡು ಲೈನ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಹಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ? I know you sing. I mean, you're somebody who will just pick up the mic and sing for thousands of people. That is something I could never do.
Okay, so I was waiting for you to ask because for all the viewers, I'm sure you know, and for those who do not know, this happens to be Vinay's birthday month, 4th of April, and I did not get an opportunity to wish him. So here's belated wishes coming your way, Vinu. And I prepared a little something for you as a part of your birthday gift. And Vinay's already kind of established the fact that I'm multilingual and I also sing in different languages. And for the first ever time, please bear with me. This is my first attempt. I'm going to try and sing in 7 different languages. This is going to take won't take more than a minute, but I hope you all enjoy this. And this is this goes out to Vinu as a birthday gift. So happy birthday!
Wow.
And
thank you.
సామజవరమవనా నిన్ను చూసి ఆగగలనా మనసు నీడ వనసుకున్న అదుపు చెప్పతగునా శాకంట్లే సిక్కడు ಸುಮ್ ಸುಮ್ನೆ ನಕ್ಕಳು ಶೌಕಾಯ್ತು ನರನಾಡಿಯೊಳಗೆ ಪರಿವಾಳ ಭದ್ರಾವಟಕಂ ಕೈಲೇಂದುಂ ತಂಬೂರಟಿ ನಲ್ಲಚ್ಚಟ ತಿರುಂಪ ಚನಕಾಳಿ ಕಲೆ ತೊಡಂಗಿ ಹೇ ಮೈಡಿಯ ಮಚ್ಚ ನೀ ಮನಸ್ಸು ವಚ್ಚ ನಮ್ಮ ಒರಸಿಕರ ನಂಜ ಜಗ ಜಗ ಜಾ ಹೇ ಮೈಡಿಯ ರಾಣಿ ఏంటి మరవాణి నమ వనాసెర వైపత్తకిరచా పీతల పురి మాసునే ఒచ్చోలియా జుగ్మే మే నగరి జబ్ జబే గోమే కమ్మరియా రే థారి కమ్మరియా రే థారి కమ్మరియా हाय रे तेरे गबरुन मारे हाय नी हाय नखरा तेरा नी हाय रे तेरे गबरुन मारे हाय रे मुंडे पागल हो गया नी तेरे गिन गिन लगदे हो रे दिल धड़काए सताए दिल धड़काए बीच सड़क पे करके आए इशारे और नखरे दिखाए और लड़का आँख मारे. Happy birthday! We will prepare that. And I know it's long, a couple of minutes, but sorry guys, I hope you enjoyed that.
Wow, thank you. That is so special. Now officially my birthday ends. Thank you so much. But yeah, I still have a fight with you. That I think I will continue with you later on. But thank you so much. That is such a wonderful, wonderful gesture. I really love that. Good. Thank you so much. Instagram is very strict on the time bit of it. So let's quickly jump into the rapid fire bit of it. Okay. So got some questions for you. Very carefully constructed ones. Let's see how... No, I mean, there is no coffee hamper here, so you can take your time, but be at your wittiest best, okay? TikTok or Instagram, your favorite platform to pass time?
TikTok.
Okay. Kannada or Marathi, the language you can hurt somebody very badly?
Sirigannadam gelge, Sirigannadam balge.
This is about hurting somebody. You literally have to abuse somebody. So, Kannada? You can kill somebody with Kannada, you say. I'm asking you.
Sirigannadam, yes, of course, Kannada.
Okay.
Okay, you're cutting it out.
Okay. Introduce me in the typical MCRT style.
Ladies and gentlemen, please Please put your hands together for the flamboyant, for the charming, the enigmatic biker, sports person, and of course, someone who can just steal your heart in a second. Presenting Vince Rishi.
Okay, that's our promo video. So we're going to post this on YouTube and put that as the promo video. Okay, I have a couple of your friends. As much as I know that, they are very, very close to you. So you'll have to choose between these two. Who's your 4 a.m. friend? Namrata Hebbar or MC Chaitra?
Chaitra.
Yeah. I've met Chaitra too. She's such a fine personality as well. She's quite a cracker of a girl. Yeah.
Although
Okay,
I'm not really sure if our network is going to be awake at 4, but she is the person that I'll probably call at 4.
Oh, okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the best, you'll have to rate some of your skills, which I'm going to mention. Dancing skills. I know you're a fine dancer, but dancing skills according to you. 1 to 10, 10 being the best.
I dance like a crazy person. Like I just...
I've danced with you on a TikTok video already.
Huh?
Haven't I done that step with you in TikTok?
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm a fairly good dancer. So 7.
7, okay. Cooking.
Oh, 8. Better. 2 better dancer.
Modeling. You've been a muse for quite a few photographers. So modeling.
I don't enjoy it as much, so maybe 5.
Okay. Singing.
6.5 plus 7, maybe.
Okay. Traveling.
Oh, 9.
9? 9 out.
Yeah.
Creativity. How creative are you?
I'm very creative when it comes to thoughts, but I'm not creative when it comes to painting and artwork and all that. So I don't know how to kind of put this. But creative thoughts, I can sit, I can write. I've written a couple of scripts. So keeping that in mind, I think I'll give myself a 7.
7, okay. Boss lady. Like you're a boss of your things.
No, yeah, I suck at it. I think one common thing people have told me is never start a business because, like when I see someone in pain, I bleed blood. Okay, so I bleed like crazy. I'm like, oh my god, my heart's bleeding. No, stop this. So I'm very, very, very emotional. So I don't think I can ever be like a boss lady, but I can pose to be one though. Yeah, I can just pose to be one.
So that we'll have to be aware of.
Yeah.
Okay, now the next question you'll have to emote. Okay. You met Nayanthara and Nayanthara hugs you. So what's your reaction? I know how big a fan you are for Nayanthara.
I think I'll be. I don't think I'll hug her back. Even I'm gonna not shower for like a week. I'm gonna just stay in that zone. Kind of take her.
No shower for a week.
Yeah, I shower twice a day. But like I take two showers a day. But if Nayanthara hugs me, then I think I'm just gonna say no to shower.
Instagram, like I told you, is very strict on the timeline, so I'll have to add Archie again. So just kindly bear with me, guys, while I quickly get her back on. Sorry about the inconvenience. We are dependent on an online platform. Oh yeah, there she is.
Instagram as a platform only cares. It's not in our hands. We don't have a production unit, so
yeah. I have to to all our viewers that when Vinu asked me to do this interview, I told him that 1 hour is definitely not going to be sufficient for all that we have to share. So yeah, I think I've been proved right. So you were asking me.
Oh yeah. Let's quickly wrap this up. Your favorite IPL team. Your options are RCB and RCB.
Oh, you know this part. Oh God. Like if I have to pick RCB, I'll only pick if Dhoni is a part of RCB. For me, cricket is none but Dhoni. I love him. I'm a big, big fan. So, skip for now, but RCB if Dhoni is there.
That we'll discuss it at a later point. Your choice for a rejuvenating or a relaxing drive or a ride. Bikes or cars, what do you prefer for something like that?
Cars. Your bike because it looks very fancy and all that. Vinu knows that I'm a bike nut. I have no information about bikes. If it looks fancy, it's good for me. So that's what I know about bikes. And I found his bike to be extremely, extremely, fancy, and I want to ride, which is still pending. But otherwise, cars.
To get bike as an answer, I should have asked this to MC Chaitra.
Yeah.
She would have said, yeah,
She would have
bike.
loved bike.
She should have jumped on it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Early bird or night owl? Your preferred time to introspect about life?
I want to be an early bird. I'm actually trying to make an earnest effort to be, somebody who wakes up early in the morning and starts the day so that I can get the most of the day. But no, I can stay up. I'm like a nocturnal person. I can stay up late, but I can't wake up early.
Okay, great job. The rapid fire is done. So you did a brilliant job. I obviously will gift you whenever I meet you. But we have another section where, we actually pick up questions from, the people who've been following this live video. Unfortunately, the last one kind of got ended. So I lost a lot of questions there. But we'll still see if there is something here. Else, I will make questions on the go anyway.
Easy, go easy on me.
There's one question I think somebody had asked if what's next for Archie? Somebody's asking.
This morning I had a friend, his name is Vishwa, so I've also kind of done a small stint on TV, on Udaya TV for a Kannada program. So he was actually asking me to move into acting and move into more TV. So I think that's the next thing. Maybe not acting, but anchoring on television, maybe that.
You're good enough to act as well. I mean, your TikTok videos are quite brilliant, so I think you should take that plunge too.
I don't know. TikTok is okay. I mean, I think I do a lot of overacting, and I think TikTok is kind of been good to me, but it takes a lot. And I see the hard work of all these actors. At least when I was interviewing these celebrities, I've been been privileged to actually be a part of lot of these exuberant sets and things like that. A lot of hard work goes into it, and it's not a child's play. And I don't know if I'm ready for it.
Okay. Last question. Anybody who wants to pick up the microphone and want to be an MC, what will your tips be?
So there is no hard and fast rule as to how to be an MC. What I say is be yourself. You can't just be two different persons. You can't be someone else. I can't be an Archie with Vinu, and I can't be like an MC Archie on stage. I have to be the same person. So if there's no originality, I don't think there's something that you will enjoy for a long time. So be yourself, be original. At the same time, be innovative, be spontaneous, have a lot of energy, and be confident. And make sure that you consider every event of yours to be your first event where you have to give your best, in fact, beyond your best. And that is what is going to keep you going. You can never get satisfied or saturated or think to yourself that, oh my God, I've achieved so many things. So, this is it. And I'm one of the top most celebrated MCs. Never tell yourself that. Even if you are, God's grace, good for you, but never tell yourself that you're done learning and you have only to give and not to receive. If you think that there is no room for learning, that is the end of your career. It just doesn't have to be as an MC, but in any industry, across. If you stop thinking that no more learning is necessary and I've achieved it all and I know it all, then Mr. Miss, I think you should just let go of your dreams, because that is where your dreams come. So receive criticism, take it constructively, work upon it, and just enjoy what you do, guys. Just find your heart in the right place and make sure that you work towards your passion and make it big. Good luck.
Rightly said. Some real wise words for people who would love to become an MC. I hope to see they would need to follow you and your journey in order to learn a lot of it, because some of the positives, what you put out there is incredible. I mean, it makes it pretty much like an online course for people to become an MC. Pick up those qualities from Archie and then become an MC. It's as simple as that. You make it look that easy. On that note, I need to personally thank you for accepting the invite. So please share us your experience. No, do share your experience being on this show. I mean, I had to really conceptualize it.
I think I've known you personally, Vinu. You're a fantastic person. I think I've also called you like my positive packet. So whenever I feel low, I've actually called you, I've irritated you, I've annoyed you. I remember sending you like screams on voice notes, like, I used to be that worked up sometimes, and I needed a safe space to vent, and you've been that safe space. So thank you so much for being you. You're extremely positive and you're fun-loving, and you're very active, especially when it comes to sporty things, which I'm not. And keep going, keep inspiring people, and I know how well you take care of your mother, and lots of love to her. And you're a fantastic human being. You are a fantastic son. Well, what more can I ask for? You're a fabulous friend. Thank you, Vinu. And to all of those who are watching us live, thank you for being a part of this show. Please show your support to the Vince Rishi show. Give more love to him. And I'm sure there'll be many more people who will probably share their life experiences, and you will get a lot to learn. I'm going to definitely be one of the one of the people who will be looking forward to his upcoming shows. And just one thing before I go, guys, I think it's important to stay positive. I know it's lockdown. I know we are locked in. But let's not see it as, we're locked in. Let's just see that we are safe, we are blessed by God, eventually we are indoors and we are safe. And one important request to all people out there is please do your bit to help the people in need. I think it's only humanity that has to win right now, and I don't think we can let a pandemic win over us, humanity over any crisis. So please find that one little place in your heart to help another person in need. Not just a person in need. In fact, dogs and the animals stray. I think they're also kind of finding it difficult to kind of survive due to the lockdown. So just do whatever that you can do to help each other. Believe that makes you a better person. Your face will automatically glow when you do good things. What's something that I strongly believe in. All these face packs and whatever you guys use face packs and all that is not going to give you an eternal glow. But when you do good to others, when you do good on to others, I think that the blessing that you receive in return is what is going to make you glow and shine like a diamond. And please, it's an urge from me, and I'm sure when Vinu will join me in placing this urge to you all, that just help each other, guys. Let's just be there for one another. Humanity or any crisis.
You actually touched base on all of the things what I had to say. Thank you so much for making my job so much more easier. No, that's perfectly fine. I think you've ended it on the right note. I mean, it's important to let humanity win over everything else. I mean, there could be numerous amount of boundaries, but if there is humanity, I think human race will survive all the adversities that can come our way.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
People who have come together to help each other. And of course, caste, creed, color, doesn't really matter. All that matters is we breathe as human beings, and let's just love one another.
All right, we're at the top of the hour. Thank you so much, MC Archie. You're one of those esteemed guests who personally I love bringing your story out to the people, because I know you're one incredible woman. A lot of people can actually, draw a lot of inspiration from you. And when they get to know you as a person, they will know how beautiful you are inside and out. So thank you so much for being that kind of a person. We love talking to you, and thank you for the support to the Vince Rishi show. We will catch up with you very, very, very soon. Hopefully you'll come back on the show at some other time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on your show. It was truly a blast. And again, I think my Sunday just lit up thanks to your show. And thank you for all the viewers also who watched us patiently through the hour. And I hope you just take 1 or 2 pointers from whatever I said, and of course make a difference out there. And I hope you enjoyed, and if you have enjoyed, continue watching the Vince Rishi show, because I am definitely going to be one of them. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Namaskara. Thank you. There you go, guys. I mean, we brought MC Archie for you. She's an outstanding woman. For the kind of journey what she's had, she's truly an inspirational figure. You should follow her on her Instagram handle and ask her questions, because when you know her as a person, I think you will understand what a beautiful character she is. I hope you guys loved the episode. I had so much fun bringing the best out of my friend. She's a very, very close friend of mine, so her story is something that really drives me very strongly. I've been in absolute close touch with her. So that's all we have at the Vince Rishi show this time. We will catch up with you next weekend. We have an elite group of celebrities lined up to be presented on this show. You guys are definitely going to be enjoying our show. Thank you so much. Keep connecting with me on the Instagram handle wins.rishi. That's where the updates about the show is actually going to come. I am developing a production team as well, which will help me bring this episode in better ways. Thank you so much. That's all we have for the weekend. Have a fabulous one. Stay safe and stay indoors. Bye-bye.